You got something to say, say it.
I'm telling you to back away from the pump and keep your hands where I can see them.
Please, can we just
He's
go?
with his son.
I ain't doing anything wrong. My kid's watching.
Then let's keep it that way. Step back.
Fine.
Thank you.
They thought he was just another black man in a quiet suburban neighborhood, one they could push, intimidate, and disrespect without consequence. To the officers who stopped their cruiser outside his home, he was already a suspect simply for grilling in his own backyard. His family's laughter turned into silence as badges turned into weapons. But while those officers assumed they held power, they had no idea who they were dealing with. They didn't know who he used to be, and they weren't ready for what was coming. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Jamal Carter had traded roaring engines and late-night danger for peace. Or at least he hoped he had. Once known as Black Iron, he led a motorcycle brotherhood called the Steel Reapers. People respected him. Some feared him. But he walked away from all of it to build a different life. One defined by family picnics, construction work, and safe streets for his children, Malachi and Jade. That Saturday afternoon felt perfect. Sunlight warming the yard, juicy ribs sizzling on the grill, kids laughing with water guns, a scene he worked years to earn. For the first time in a long time, he felt like a regular man in a regular world. But safety is fragile for a black father in America. And happiness can vanish faster than smoke rising from a backyard barbecue. The police cruiser rolling slowly past his home wasn't an accident. It was a decision, sparked by a call from a neighbor who claimed there were suspicious people outside. Suspicious. Because their skin didn't match the other houses on the street. Two officers stepped out, eyes locked, hands hovering near their holsters. Jamal felt the old instinct rising. Stay calm, stay controlled. Don't give them a story to twist. He told his kids to go inside, but fear had already gripped their small hearts. The officers demanded he show ID, then demanded he put his hands behind his back, as though grilling with his family was a crime. Handcuffs clicked around his wrists. His children watched. His wife trembled. His neighbors stared as if a villain had finally been exposed. Officers stormed into the yard, barking accusations about drugs, weapons, and criminal history. Their hands pried into every corner of his life, until one officer found something folded in the garage. A leather vest marked with a familiar insignia, the Steel Reapers. His past, dragged into the present like a match thrown into gasoline. Mocking smirks spread across their faces. They believed they had uncovered the truth. A dangerous black biker pretending to be a family man. They didn't know this truth. Brotherhood doesn't forget, and family, the old kind, rides fast when one of their own is threatened. Thunder erupted on the street, motorcycle after motorcycle roaring in together, engines shaking the concrete, black leather, steel patches, helmets lifting to reveal eyes burning with loyalty. The Steel Reapers had arrived, not to start a fight, not to escalate violence, but to show those officers that Jamal was not alone, and never would be. Their leader stepped forward, towering and silent, his presence enough to drain the color from the officers' faces. Calmly, he asked what crime justified arresting a man in his own yard in front of his children. The officers stumbled through excuses, their authority collapsing without the foundation of fear. They unclasped Jamal's cuffs with shaking hands, suddenly desperate to leave the scene they thought they controlled minutes earlier. When the cruisers sped away, Jamal didn't celebrate victory. He looked down at the marks pressed into his skin, reminders that racism doesn't need a reason to strike. His children ran into his arms, holding on tight, unsure if their father had been saved or simply spared. This time, Jamal thanked his old brothers, but he also understood a deeper truth. Strength isn't the roar of a motorcycle pack. It's the dignity a black man refuses to surrender. He told his kids that day would not define their fear. It would define their courage. The world might see them as a threat, but they must never forget who they are. Racism tried to chain him, but identity, real identity, never kneels. And somewhere in that peaceful neighborhood, a neighbor who called felt uncomfortable for the first time, realizing the man she feared was the one protecting what mattered most. Because when a system targets you for existing, you stand up anyway. Where are you watching from? Tell me your country and city in the comments. Take care.